Hello students. Today, after a long gap, I think it may be maybe after a gap of 1 or 2 weeks, okay, I'm coming up with another topic, that is the knowing microorganisms. Okay, so microorganisms, basically we will get in and around our surroundings, in environment, in any situation, any condition. It is a microscopic organism. That's why it is called microorganisms. We can't see with our naked eyes. We have to use uh, microscopes or other technologies. Okay, so microorganisms. Let us know microorganisms. We definitely, okay. Microorganisms, they have both positive as well as negative aspects. Okay, like it may be useful to us in case of making or baking eateries, breads, cakes, etc., in wines, alcohols, and in um, production of vaccines, uh, then antibiotics and medicines, etc. So let us move on with, okay, move on. What microorganisms are? What are they? What are their types? Okay, microorganisms and viruses. So these terms we basically use in case we get ill or something, okay, that causes panic to us, microorganisms or viruses. So right now, pandemic COVID-19 is going on throughout the world, and we are in a lockdown situation because of this microorganism, okay, this virus. So this is the basic example. So what is coronavirus, how it is working? Okay, to know the coronavirus as well as, okay, as well, so we have to know what is virus and microorganisms. So microorganisms are living organisms which can be either unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular means it possesses only one cell, okay, which possesses all the cellular organelles like nucleus, uh, mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, etc. In case of multicellular body, it is it multiplies rapidly. It possesses of many cells, okay, which or the work has been divided itself within that group of cells, okay, like higher organism. Unicellular it is like amoeba or any protozoa, but in case of multicellular, we can call it either a plant or higher animals. They require food, air, water to live. Microorganisms, like higher animals, okay, they also require food, air, and water to live. Some of them produce their own food, similar to the way the plants do, but some have to depend upon the other organisms. It can be divided into 5 groups, that is algae, fungi, bacteria, protozoa, viruses. Their classification depends on their, okay, microorganisms are basically classified based on the different shapes, structures, habits, habitat, and the movement. They can live in all kinds of environments. Like I said, extreme conditions. Either you will get microorganisms in coldest area, in hottest area, on the deepest sea level of the earth, in the atmosphere. Anywhere you'll get the microorganisms. Some of them live in solitary and some live in colonies. Solitary means they live alone, singly. Okay, only a single organism you'll get. They'll move around uh, uh, alone. In case of colonies, they'll come up together, making group, sitting together, walking together. Okay, so this is microorganisms. Now let us go with the viruses. Virus in Latin means Latin, it is poison. Okay, viruses are the smallest and simplest organisms. They are microscopic, simplest organisms. They can be divided into 5 groups. Okay, virus is also divided into 5 groups. That is bacteriophage, phycophage, mycophage, zoophage, and phytophage. Although they are called microorganisms, they are non-cellular. Like other microorganisms, like fungi, protozoa, etc. Okay, this is non-cellular, and it also shows the characteristics of both the living and non-living organisms. Means living means once they get inside the host, once they go to the host and get inside the host, it starts multiplying. It starts like a cell. But if it don't get a host to enter, or they will be like just a particle. It will not affect anything, it will do nothing. But once it get inside the host, it starts walking. Like in coronavirus also, why people are in lockdown, whole country is in lockdown, most of the countries in the world are in lockdown. Why? Because they don't get contact with the virus. Once the virus contacts a host, that is a human being, what happens is the coronavirus get inside into the human body and starts multiplying. It will act as a living thing now. But in the air, if it don't get contact with humans, with now they will remain like non-living thing. This is the reason why we are in lockdown. They need to live in another living being called the host in order to reproduce, and this host, in case of coronavirus, host is a human, we. So different virus, they have different hosts. Like in humans, we get with we get contact with different virus and get diseases like polio, TB, tuberculosis, etc., etc. In case of dogs, canines, they have different, like canine distemper. It is kind of disease. Like that, there are different diseases, that animals, canines also get. Feline, cats, they have different virus. They are the host of different diseases of their own. So this host means a person or animal, within which the virus enters and starts multiplying and reproducing. Multiplying is reproducing. Inside the host cell, they rapidly multiply and destroy the cell and cause infectious disease. They are inactive when they are outside the host body, like I said. So you can see this thing. Flowchart, microorganisms. It is of 5 different types: algae, fungi, bacteria, protozoa, viruses. And viruses is again of 5 types: bacteriophage. Bacteriophage means bacteria. Phycophage, phyco means algae. Mycophage, myco means fungi. Zoophage, animal. Phytophage, plant. Virus. So organisms, 5 different types of organisms. Virus, 5 different types. Algae and fungi. Let us see what is algae and what is fungi. In our native language, Nepali, basically, algae is leaf that we get to see in a freshwater stream or in pond, etc. Fungi is that kind of च्याउ or ढुँडी परेको भन्छ नि, that is the fungi. Okay. Now algae it can be either unicellular, like Chlamydomonas, or it can be multicellular, like seaweed or kelp, which are found in seawater. So Chlamydomonas, I have written it in italic manner because it is a scientific name, so please keep in your mind. The study of algae is called phycology. Those who will study the algae, the subject is the phycology. Phyco means algae, logy means to study. They are closely related to plants. Okay, algae is closely related to plants as they contains chloroplast in their cells. Chloroplast, which helps in photosynthesis, which produces its own food. So for this reason, algae can also make their own food like plants do. They produce, okay, during this process photosynthesis, they basically produce sugar and oxygen. Sugar they use it as a food, and the oxygen is released into the pond water or in stream water, oxygenating the whole water body. And this oxygenation of the whole water body helps in the respiration of water aquatic species like fish, prawns, etc. Now Chlamydomonas, it is example of an algae. It is single-celled green algae. It is spherical or oval shape. It is spherical or oval shape. Okay. And next thing is the cell is surrounded by a cellulose or cell wall and contains a nucleus. So basically it is composed of two cell. Okay, one is the cell is completely covered by cell. Another thing, okay, this is a cell wall and contains a nucleus. It contains a nucleus. This is the nucleus. A single large cup-shaped chloroplast inside the cell is present. Single large cup-shaped. Now this is the single large cup-shaped chlorophyll. So this is the chlorophyll. It is present inside the cell. Now next is, okay, this green is the nucleus and this is the chloroplast. Hope you get this thing now. A single, okay, two flagella is present which are used in movement. Two flagella is present. Okay, now this thing is the flagella. Okay, it is antenna like thing. It helps in the movement of the Chlamydomonas in the water. It is basically found in freshwater river lakes. So this much in this Chlamydomonas. So please go through page number 17. Refer page number 17 of your science content book for proper diagram of Chlamydomonas. This is a basic concept, rough concept ekdam. Next is fungi, that is dhuri poreko. Dhuri is the fungi we get to see in bread or food matters. Okay, waste food matters or waste organic matters. Dhuri poreko. So fungi can be unicellular, or it can also be unicellular or multicellular, that have the characteristic of both plants and animals. They are either saprophytic and parasites. Parasitic. Saprophytes means which obtain food by decomposing dead organic matter. Saprophytes, which obtain food, it gets stick with the dead organic matter, either food or leather or anything like that, or wood, dead decaying food, wood. Okay, so now it starts sucking up the juices from it. So this is the saprophytes. And parasites, which live on host. Okay, it need a host like the worm in our stomach, digestive system. Okay, intestine, basically intestine worm, or that what we call it, juga poreko we call it, no, that worms will be there. Okay, tapeworms will it is inside our intestine. So we are the host, and that worms, tapeworm or roundworm is the parasites. Okay, they suck up our juices, okay, from our body. So they live up there. They multiply, not multiply, basically their reproduction, whole life cycle goes inside our intestine. So this is the kind of example of parasites. Next example of parasite is lice. That will get stuck in our head. Some fungi are harmful, causes infections and allergies. Okay, some fungi causes skin rashes, etc. allergies in our body, while some are useful. That basically penicillin from penicillium, we use it as antibiotic. The study of fungi is called mycology. Again, myco means fungi, logy to study. This is the example of the fungi. Yeast. Okay, yeast basically we use in preparing momo. That when we momo or typo, we put this thing yeast, so that the dough, okay, that the volume of the dough will increase to make it puffy. So yeast is a unicellular saprophytic fungus. It is unicellular. Cell is oval shaped. Cell is oval shaped and contains nucleus. It is oval shaped. It contains nucleus. It contains endoplasmic reticulum. It contains mitochondria. It contains endoplasmic reticulum. It contains vacuoles, lipid granules, phosphate granules. Okay, it possesses the membrane, so it does not contain chlorophyll. Okay, it contains all kind of cell organelle, but it doesn't contain the chlorophyll, so it will not act as a plant. So, and it also don't produce its own food. It basically depends upon other. So this is the basic concept of yeast. Okay, please refer page number 18 for proper diagram. Next thing is the lichen. What is lichen? Okay, lichens, we know fungi, and now we know the algae. When they live they have their own characteristics. They live on in their own place. Okay, they have their own kind of situation they live on. So they have they live on kind of proper temperature, proper place. They have proper conditions to live together, to grow, to multiply, to reproduce. Now what happens, sometimes they come up to a certain situation where they can't live. Okay, they can't reproduce, they can't multiply, even they can't exist. But sometimes what happens in that kind of situation, these two things come up together to support each other. So okay, so when the fungus and algae comes up together, they live together helping each other, then it forms a lichen. The fungus and algae benefit from living each other. They benefit each other, because sometimes what happens is, okay, in water body, stream or pond, algae, they don't need to work hard to get the water. Fungus, they don't need to work hard to find a shelter upon the dead organic materials. They'll easily suck up, they'll easily live there, and they'll easily get the food. But sometimes in a hard situation, or a situation which is not favorable for them, they can't live separately, so they come up together and they help each other. So fungi, or the fungus, what they do is, fungus provides water to the algae, and algae, it needs water as it contains chlorophyll. It starts a process of that, it works on photosynthesis to produce food. So one is providing food, another is providing water, and is providing shelter. So they do both come up together helping each other. So this type of symbiotic relationship is known as mutualism. Mutualism means mutually they are staying together, helping each other, not harming. They 100% helping each other for surviving, to survive in a hard situation. So this is type of symbiotic relationship is known as mutualism. The mutually beneficial relationship between a fungus and algae allows lichens to move to more adaptable to be more adaptable in a hard situation or unfavorable situations. Lichens grow very slowly and are usually gray, green, or white, orange, or black color. So lichens are orange color, gray, or white in color. Okay, you will get to see in a wood or in a wall in a moist areas. So they grow on rocks, woods, farm soils, etc. So this much in this slide. So let us summarize up what we studied today. So microorganisms are two small microscopic organisms. They can live in all kinds of environment, ranging from ice cold climate to hot springs and deserts to marshy lands. They may be unicellular or multicellular. Microorganisms include bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. Viruses, though different from the above mentioned living organisms, are considered microbes. Viruses are quite different from other microorganisms. They reproduce only inside the host organism, like bacterium, plant, or animal cells. Some microorganisms are useful and used in commercial production of medicine, alcohols, and some are harmful. Some microorganisms decompose the organic waste and dead plants and animals into simple substances and clean up the environment. So in the next slide, we will continue with the bacteria and protozoa. So for any queries, doubts, let me know. Stay safe, keep learning. Thank you.